Mr. Beast. You've seen his outrageous challenges and heard about his insane reach and witnessed his rise to the top of internet stardom. But who is Mr. Beast? Recent rumors of rigged games and hiring predators are only a recent dimension of his character, and it's just scratching the surface. Mr. Beast, whose real name is Jimmy, has reached billions of people globally, influencing young people through extreme challenges, always citing his obsession and desire to simply make the best YouTube videos.
Everything drives me to wanting to be a YouTuber, so I kind of obsess over it.
And before you say, but Mr. Beast does so much good, well, no one's denying that. He's changed countless lives for the better, and that's amazing. But do we really know the full story? We know he's generous, but we also know how money and power can warp someone's intentions. When you have the entire world's eyes on you, when you can make or break someone's life with a click, what kind of effect does that have on a human and society at large?
Voice cameras there, so we could constantly monitor it.
$30,000, $30,000, $40,000, and now $50,000.
When you look a little deeper, it gets even more unsettling. There's rumors about satanic influence in his content, even connecting Mr. Beast to the Antichrist. By the end of this video, you'll know more about his darkness, and I'm gonna reveal a secret Mr. Beast game that you've likely never heard of. So who really is Jimmy Donaldson, and what does he truly want? It's easy to buy into the Mr. Beast persona, the good guy, the generous giver, but is that the whole picture? Fame is a business, and every business has its secrets.
If I donate to charity, people can't say I'm shitty.
It's about how he covered up sexual assault at the workplace.
That's obviously a very, very big claim to make.
On the surface, Mr. Beast's philanthropy is inspiring. He's helped countless people, changed lives, and set a standard for giving back in ways most YouTubers don't even attempt. And that's amazing. But is philanthropy always as pure as it seems? In a world where influence is currency, charitable acts can amplify a person's reach, build a loyal following, and ultimately gain power. With Mr. Beast, we see massive giveaways, dramatic acts of kindness, but each one serves to reinforce his persona as the good guy of YouTube. Philanthropy, for all its virtues, can sometimes be a powerful marketing tool rather than just an altruistic act. The internet is a fickle beast, pun intended, and staying at the top means constant pressure and scrutiny. It can break even the strongest people. So is Jimmy cracking under the strain?
Mr. Beast says he's disgusted by the serious allegations against his trans co-host Ava Tyson. And
Mr. Beast has responded to the Ava Chris Tyson allegations.
Recently, serious accusations have surfaced against Mr. Beast and his team. While we can't dismiss them, it's important to remember that allegations aren't proof. For example, horror stories have surfaced from old Mr. Beast team members or previous teammates claiming that teams around Jimmy often made disgusting jokes about kids.
Wait, what?
That's awful and inexcusable. With that said, none of this incriminates Jimmy himself, it's about his teammates. Mr. Beast is insanely busy, he's probably just trying to get through things day to day. But even so, that's no excuse for ignoring extremely problematic behavior of those around him. But there's always the possibility that he wasn't ignoring things, maybe he didn't have the time or opportunity to ever witness them. Also, Jimmy says the culture at his business video everything that happens. If Jimmy were really this bad, wouldn't there be more video evidence simply floating around?
This is the kind of stuff we don't normally show. We had to have 6 or 7 people here monitoring every angle.
But there's something else going on here. There's a concept in Christianity, the demon Mammon. Mammon represents wealth, especially wealth that corrupts, and let's face it, we've seen that obsession with wealth everywhere today. Think about the Joel Osteens, the Kenneth Copelands, the Creflo Dollars. These are men who preach prosperity gospel, who promise blessings in exchange for donations. They say they're doing God's work, but how much of that work is really for God and how much is for Mammon? People want more, bigger, and better. It's become almost normal. So let me ask you, is Mr. Beast fueling that kind of obsession? Is he leading people towards worshiping the idea of wealth? The name Mr. Beast itself holds a lot of weight. The Antichrist himself is called the Beast. When we hear beast, what comes to mind? Something primal, untamed, and powerful. In many traditions, beasts are symbols of raw ambition and hunger, forces that don't stop until they're satisfied, like the biblical figures of Mammon and Leviathan, entities tied to desire, material excess, and dominance over the natural world. Did you know that Mr. Beast used to be a Christian?
I used to go to a Christian school back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Jimmy was raised in a Christian household, attended a private Christian school, and even openly talked about God. He even had a Bible verse in his old banner. And yet, as his fame exploded, any reference to his faith has quietly disappeared.
Atheist or agnostic?
Agnostic. Like, I mean,
What about that Jesus?
No.
He said no.
So what happened? Why did Mr. Beast fall away from his faith? Did he make some kind of deal with the devil in exchange for fame and fortune? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that money or wealth itself is satanic or that it's always evil. We all deserve to live nice lives, but money is just a tool. It can be used to help families, to create opportunities, but when money and fame gets out of control and becomes an end unto itself, that's when it turns dark. And it's easy for that darkness to slip in, amplify, or surface without anybody noticing, especially when we're distracted by all the glamour, the gifts, and the thrill of giveaways. The thing about wealth is, it can feel like magic, and for Jimmy, this kind of wealth has given him a magical power to make people do things they wouldn't otherwise do.
Question is dead serious.
How do humans build this stuff?
From counting to 100,000 subscribers to recreating Squid Game, Mr. Beast's dedication to YouTube is undeniable. But is it healthy? This isn't to say that Jimmy is consciously out there thinking, I want power, but he's certainly obsessing constantly about, I want views. But that's the thing about the unconscious mind. It speaks through our actions even when we're not fully aware of it. Think about the Squid Game video for a second. Mr. Beast's recreation of Squid Game was a viral sensation. But was his recreation of Squid Game a psychological projection of wanting power over others? If we look at this game through that lens, it starts to feel more like a manifestation of a deep, maybe even hidden longing for control. A longing to shape the world around him, to orchestrate people's lives, to create a reality where he's the one calling the shots. Or is it something even more frightening? Does it actually foreshadow a world in which real Squid Games become a reality, where those who don't have money have to fight for the survival for the entertainment of the wealthy? Kind of reminds you of the world we live in, doesn't it? But even participants felt abused and mistreated while filming some of Mr. Beast's videos.
He didn't want anyone to get more popular or have more of a way out necessarily. Like, oh, I'm doing my Twitch thing on the side. Don't do that because you could get famous and leave.
Take former Mr. Beast team member Jake Weddle's experience. He describes being placed in what was supposed to be a solitary confinement challenge with promises of cash if he completed it. But the reality was anything but a controlled game. With lights glaring around the clock, lack of sleep, and constant surveillance, the setup started to feel more like psychological torture than a YouTube stunt. Weddle reported developing insomnia, feeling mentally decayed, and questioning the purpose of such extreme measures. And this is just one example. What happens when viewers demand even more intense content? The relentless pursuit of views is creating an environment where creators are willing to do almost anything to keep audiences hooked. Another unsettling element that surfaced from former employees is the high-pressure culture of yes environment within Mr. Beast's production team. According to Weddle, employees were expected to deliver on every impossible demand. In one internal document titled How to Succeed in Mr. Beast Production, the phrase "no does not mean no" reportedly encourages team members to keep pushing past refusals. Former team members describe intense work days that demanded physical and mental stamina, so it makes sense why everyone felt burnt out. See, this isn't just about Mr. Beast, it's about the precedent being set. Are we heading towards a future where entertainment is defined by exploiting those who need money? That future may already be here. So is Mr. Beast channeling the power of the beast? Why did he leave Christianity? Well, like Jimmy, I was raised Christian and I was homeschooled on a Christian curriculum. Breaking away is like tearing through chains that have held you down your entire life. Christianity is built on a rigid code, shame, and control, and leaving isn't just about losing faith, it's about reclaiming freedom. So good for Jimmy for breaking out of that. So no, Mr. Beast didn't make a deal with the devil, at least not in the way we might think, but he's certainly tapping into that raw, devilish energy that dominates and commands. The name Mr. Beast doesn't actually have anything to do with the Antichrist, but it is a reflection of that relentless drive in human nature for power, wealth, and influence. Jimmy probably didn't consciously choose this name with that in mind, but it's come to symbolize his larger-than-life presence and insatiable ambition on the platform, tapping into a darker undercurrent of human nature. The danger here is that by worshipping the beast as though he were a god, we're all engaging with something primal in ourselves, the beast that lies within our unconscious. Think about it. Squid Game was one of Mr. Beast's most viral sensations. It drew millions upon millions of viewers. Could this real-life Squid Game be a doorway, inspiring a trend where games become darker, more intense, or even more exploitive for the sake of entertainment? Let's think about about the world that we're creating when we put billionaires on a pedestal. With all this wealth concentrated in the hands of a few, are we actually making the world a better place, or are we slowly creating a kind of hell on earth? What happens when the richest individuals hold more power than entire governments, can shape societies, control economies, and sway entire cultures? The reality is, this isn't just a Mr. Beast thing. Jimmy is part of something much bigger, a growing cultural shift where extreme wealth isn't just accepted, it's worshipped. And maybe that's the true danger here, because when you get to that level, when billionaires are so revered that people believe they're inherently better, smarter, or more valuable, it's like we're falling into a new kind of worship. And the question we need to ask is, are we worshiping heroes, or are we worshiping devils in disguise? What if the very people we look up to as saviors, the billionaires with endless resources, are actually turning the world into a kind of hell? A world where those who don't make it to the top are left to struggle in a system that's rigged against them. Is this really progress, or are we creating a world ruled by mammon? These controversies have tarnished Mr. Beast's image, to say the least. It's no wonder people have gone as far as calling him the devil. But could he recover? Is a private investigation enough? Actions speak louder than words, and he needs to dig himself out of a deep hole.
Mr. Beast's secret CEO, James Warren, his Instagram and Facebook got taken down, and his LinkedIn got taken down.
He needs to show genuine remorse and a commitment to change, not just through words, but through actions. He'd also have to make the ultimate change the way he makes videos, where he's not just doing it for the views.
In this video, we are building and giving away 100 houses.
Think that having an effect of this magnitude would require the resources and funding of a large government.
Mr. Beast has the potential for good. He's shown it before with his charitable acts and positive messages, but now he needs to prove that he's more than just a brand, that he's willing to learn and grow from this experience.
Jimmy, thanks so much for having me in Greenville, man. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm here with Mr. Beast, the brilliant mastermind behind some of the most popular videos ever created.
Mr. Beast 6000!
Remember that secret Mr. Beast game I mentioned at the start of this video? Well, think about this. With every viral video, Jimmy raises the stakes, pushing himself to deliver crazier, more intense, more jaw-dropping content. It's as if Mr. Beast has created a game he can't escape. This constant need to one-up his last video can become a personal hell, and the only way forward is deeper into the fire. It's like he's trapped in his own version of Dante's Inferno, endlessly climbing through circles of his own ambition. Mr. Beast has crafted an empire, but at what cost? In his pursuit to be the best, he may be creating a prison of his own making, a game with no end, where the only way to win is to keep playing, no matter how high the price. The secret game you missed is the one that Jimmy made for himself. Make sure that you like and subscribe, and check out my video on pop music and the devil. And if you enjoy my work, make sure you become a member. I want to give a big shout out to everyone who supports.